So here we are, the last but one match of this year's Western and Southern Financial Group Masters. The All-American semi-final between Andre Agassi and Andy Roddick, the holder of the title.
Seats quickly, please, behind the players.
Agassi won the toss and said that he would receive.
The battle lines are drawn early. Fantastic hitting from the back of the court from Agassi. And I think the backhand down the line is going to be a vital stroke if the veteran American is going to win this evening.
Well, he started nervously last night, did Roddick, against Haas, against whom he had a losing record. And he's since snapped out of it, mind you, but if he does it again here and loses his serve, well, it could be fatal. That's a good nerve settler.
15.
I think he's going to use the slice serve an awful lot this evening out to the juice court. Definitely an advantage if you can pull Agassi wide on his forehand.
Thirty-all. 40, 13.
Well, that is quite wonderful serving, no question about it. This man carrying on the torch that was held aloft for so long by Sampras.
Game 1.
And a formidable reminder to Agassi of just what he's up against.
Well, that's a perfect example of why Roddick is such an effective player and why he's #2 in the world, because he gets in trouble, love 30, and pretty much 4 shots later, he's changing ends at 1 love, and that just takes all the pressure off. And I'm sure him and his coach Brad Gilbert will have discussed tactics prior to the match, and I'm sure they're going to use that slice serve out wide to the juice court as much as possible, and they won't want to get embroiled in long baseline rallies.
Well, the whole camp is there. Lauren Bedford and his girlfriend in the front row there. And you saw Roddick's trainer, Doug Spreen, sitting there.
Love 50.
It's going to be interesting for me to see exactly which side Roddick targets from the back of the court.
Karen Cahill has been Agassi's coach for a while now.
15.
February 2002, so over 2 years, 2.5 years. It's been a great partnership. Just. He's startled by the call, but it was out, no question. We're right behind that line, Jason. I could see it out, I'm sure you could.
Yeah, hit it well, and he was looking to massage the linesperson just a tad. Didn't work on that occasion.
40-50.
ace just to remind Roddick that he's not the only one who can serve aces.
1 game on.
And Agassi, of course, this time last year had won 4 tournaments. He hasn't won one this year, and that is unusual. Only one other year has he not won a tournament. That was 1997, the year he was having marital problems. And he slipped to 143 in the world rankings. We never thought he'd recover.
That'll get you every time. Trouble and strife.
But how well he did recover. Right to the very top of the tree again. And winning Australian Opens in the 2001 and 2003. The last 2 Grand Slams. So still a great man.
Well, that for me is really one of the major fundamental differences between these two players. When they are at the back of the court, Roddick can generate more pace than Agassi. I think Agassi will be more consistent off both the forehand and the backhand, but Roddick will be looking to use that forehand to hit clean winners.
And he did that one at 90 miles an hour.
14.
Well, that's the one you think he's going to use a lot.
It's very effective. Agassi doesn't move quite as well to his right. Roddick's been using that serve more and more in all his matches, and I think he'll use it particularly well this evening.
Game, Roddick.
But he's on target all right with that big serve. Great rapidity, moving ahead. 2-1, first set.
Well, I think it's been an interesting start by both players. They're both middling the ball very well, but Roddick, for me, looks fully focused and concentrated on the job, and he'll need to be this evening. Last night when he played against Haas, he did start nervously, as you said, John, and I think he had problems concentrating and focusing. I think these are the matches that he really gets psyched up for, when you're far and away better than your peers, which I think Roddick is in these circumstances on a hard court in North America at this time of the year. I think there's only Federer that he can't better. I think when he comes up against somebody like Agassi here, and 10,000 people watching, the eyes of the world are on this match. It's a battle of the ages. I think he's fully focused, and he started so well because of that.
Yes, I think all that is correct. And the only query I have is whether it go on serving. Let's see if he doesn't. Agassi is beginning to return like he always used to, and he has been the best returner of the serve perhaps ever. If the Agassi returns start firing, then Roddick could be in trouble. But while he maintains this level of accuracy and power on serve, as his parents there, Blanche and Jerry, they've been here all week as they're watching, then I think Agassi is going to be in severe trouble.
I think it much depends on if Agassi is going to be able to take advantage of the Roddick second serve. He's got to give Roddick the aces, say too good. If you can bang them down at 130, 140 plus miles an hour, too good. But when I get a look at a second, and that's when he'll be really looking to take advantage.
No breaks and 1-2. Please them.
And it pleased the fans as well. I'm sure Agassi is their firm favourite.
He's up for this one, all right.
Well, his first serve is very underrated. He wins a lot of cheap points with it, and he uses it to set the point up. But it's his second serve that can be a little bit weak, and again, it'll be very important for Roddick to take advantage of that.
14 left.
Taking no prisoners tonight, Mr. Roddick.
Left versus. 40-50.
Well, Roddick, when he gets set up, he can certainly generate an awful lot of pace and spin with that forehand, just enough to get the ball inside the single sideline.
Very light on his feet tonight. Well done indeed.
2 games all.
Says Cahill. Killer Cahill, they called him. Darren?
Well, Agassi's forehand there was lethal, and I think that this is a real test for Agassi. If he can come out this evening and do well against Roddick, he'll know that he can still compete at the highest level.
Now, a second serve.
Love 50.
First double fault from either of them. Yes, that's the return of serve that did it right to the baseline.
Love 30.
And Agassi will want to try and pinpoint his ground strokes to the Roddick backhand. Loves to hit the vast majority of his forehands inside out and his backhands cross court. So game plan wise, that will work very well this evening.
Yes, too good. Stood well back for that first serve and he just reached it.
And that's the thing, he's got to vary his position on return of serve. We saw Haas standing well back last night, but he just couldn't do enough with the ball. But of course, even if he gets that serve back, it opens up the court nicely for Roddick.
Yes. This is exactly the right tactics. A second serve note, a good return to the backhand, and then another to the backhand.
15-14.
The first break points in the match. It's just long.
13-14.
That was a perfect opportunity for Agassi. The return of serve was phenomenal. And Roddick did well to get the ball back in play, and Agassi will be beside himself having missed that approach shot.
Thank you.
So close. Well, matches are won and lost by the tiniest of margins, and that first one, the second one was a bit longer, but that first one was so unlucky.
Advantage run.
And the accuracy of that slice serve out wide is unbelievable. It's so short up the court. That's what gives it the angle, coming around the outside edge of the ball. A superb example.
Game running.
Well, just the sort of battle that we'd hoped to see. 133 mile an hour for that seventh ace, taking Roddick ahead. 3-2 first set.
Did you know playing 60 minutes of tennis burns more calories than lifting?
Well, that was a good response by Roddick, who was under pressure, and he was under pressure in his opening service game as well. Remember, love 30, so we've seen him come back with the big serves when he needs it most, but he won't want to do that for the whole match because, of course, it'll be very difficult to do that. So I think Agassi will be pleased with the start he's made. He's certainly looking to take advantage of that second serve, something that you pointed out was going to be very important, John. And I think he'll be pleased with the way he's reading it. He's taking the ball early, he's well inside the baseline. It's giving Roddick very little time to recover. A couple of occasions there he caught his younger opponent with a half volley in no man's land, and he could only just bunt the ball back in play. And then if only Agassi could have made more of that initial forehand inside out at 15-40, then I think he could have been sitting down here a break to the good. But that will give him an awful lot of confidence. But when you do play against Roddick in these conditions, you have to make the most of your opportunities, and therefore he's got to be careful he doesn't let too many break points slip away.
Well, believe me, the atmosphere here tonight is tingling with anticipation, and already they've been cheering. Remember when Agassi got to the break points? Roddick had to wait before he could serve. And the quality of play, absolutely sensational already.
It's what we all wanted. We anticipated that it could be a close match. We knew Agassi needed to start well. He's done just that. And really, it's mouth-watering fair.
No breaks, 2-3.
Seats quickly, please, behind the players.
Well, we talked about the backhand down the line being important for Agassi. It's also going to be important for Roddick, because Agassi's certainly going to pepper that side. And Roddick did so well there, getting down low. His feet weren't in a good position, and Agassi certainly wouldn't have been expecting such a quality pass.
That would have been a cruel blow for Agassi, because his tactics in that rally were superb.
He's taking up an excellent position. Max Murney and Sarkisian, they were doubles partners this week, and they're supporting Agassi.
Yes, well done.
Well, it's important to note the position of both players. Roddick early on in that rally was forced deep behind the baseline. Agassi was in a good position on the baseline, and then eventually the older American forced deep when Roddick was able to move up the court and take advantage with that forehand, something we know he loves to do.
Well, he's looking anguished because he'd guessed right. He'd anticipated exactly where that serve was going. Well, what a good serve and volley. Change up.
3 games all.
And this huge crowd know already that they're watching something rather special tonight. Picking the moment for the surprise serve and volley. 3-all.
50 left.
Well, as you say, there'll be a lot of walking quietly across the baseline for Agassi tonight, and he won't panic him. He knows that this is going to happen. That's the 8th ace. There'll be a lot more.
Everybody talks about the pace, obviously, that Roddick can serve at, but his accuracy has improved tremendously over the last year, and his variation of serve, and of course his second serve, his kick serve, is very underrated.
And if there's one side that has improved, it is that backhand. Used to be a relative weakness, now it is a strength. 4-3, no breaks.
Mercedes-Benz, the company that invented these cars, they use the E320 as a high fuel-efficient, low-emission diesel version.
Well, Roddick, as expected, has started to serve well. I think his first serve percentage is phenomenal when you consider how many he goes for in terms of the pace he generates and the aces that he generates. So 73% is very healthy indeed, and obviously winning a lot of points when that goes in. He's only dropped 2 points on serve so far when the first serve's found its mark. But it's the second serve that Agassi will be looking to get hold of, and he will be looking to get that under 50%. And if he can, then that's a very healthy sign. So that's something for Roddick to think about when he's thinking about his shot selection on his first serve. Agassi, his first serve percentage is very good as well. Anything up near the 70s is phenomenal, and again, it's very effective. But again, the second serve is something that Roddick is looking to take advantage of. So it's a very similar situation at the moment for both players.
And the wonderful thing is that they've both come out playing from the very first point with great confidence and timing and precision, because precision will be everything tonight. And look at that. Those two youngsters there. I think it says "I love it, Andre" across there. And some more Agassi fans. They can't spell, but never mind. They got them in the wrong order. Mr. Agassi, here he is, about to serve at 3-4 first set. See, it doesn't have to be fast. 99, that's all that was. So accurate. Darren enjoyed that one. Sitting just behind Agassi, though, that end. There he is, with his hands to mouth. Correction.
First.
Well, an overrule by Norm Christ. Let's have a look and see what TMI thought. Yes, in. Absolutely right. Frustrating him a little here.
14.
Feels he should be doing a bit better, but failed to return 2 of the serves in this game so far.
First.
Yes, it was in. First.
Game.
Well, he'll be frustrated even further by that third ace from the maestro.
4 games all.
God, he's playing well, Jason.
Striking the ball superbly, and I think he will realize that he's playing well. And I think if he had any doubts about whether he was going to be able to win this match or not, then he certainly won't be hanging around any longer.
Low, 15.
Teased that error out of him. A slightly slower ball and shorter. Roddick had to reach for it. Didn't control it. Concern in the Roddick camp. Turned away with irritation that he'd missed a return of a second serve. It was a fast one. 120.
30, 50.
The ace is climbing. That's 9. Well, I'm right behind that line. We're high above, and I think it was a fault. But
I know you saw that one.
TMI doesn't think it was a fault. And irritated again. The irritation beginning to affect him.
Well, he knows that Agassi is getting closer and closer to breaking serve. He's already managed to get out of 2 holes so far. This is another half chance for Agassi.
That's right.
Well, the woman on that
Because
line,
she assumes he's going to move this way, then she'll have a
was
clear
a fault
shot.
according to TMI, so she was right. Well, Andy, look, no good getting upset. It was a fault. There's the lady, standing well inside the line of the sideline. Agassi applauding the winner. He didn't do enough for the volley.
That's the key. He'll be frustrated, he'll be disappointed because the position he got himself in was excellent but wasn't firm enough contact with the ball. Players these days love to hit a pass on the run, and that's exactly what Roddick was able to do.
Game.
Into double figures on aces already. We've only played 9 games. And it's 5-4 Roddick.
She's standing close to the hash mark.
A lot of times like to stand there because they think they can get a better angle.
Well, she should just be kicked out. She was horrible the other day, too. Did you hear about that one the other day? She missed by this much. She's horrible.
Well, actually, I
Paid by
think
the hour or what?
No.
Okay.
I think Roddick is right in principle, but wrong in
I don't know about
fact.
that one closest to you, but that one was not even...
I think it would be better if the linesperson stood wide off the sideline rather than where she was standing. That's the lady who's now sitting down, just
How can you call a
resting
ball from there?
between.
Can't you tell her not to stand there? There's no way she can see that.
Well, she thinks she's got a better view of it.
Well, she's not smart.
Actually, she is a pretty good line umpire, but
No, she's not. She's bad.
Well, the interesting thing is the call was correct. So Roddick is wrong in fact, but right in principle. That probably she should be standing wider.
That was wide.
was right. Okay, thanks.
That's an important point that Agassi's just made there, saying that the serve was indeed wide. So he doesn't want Norm Chris to start thinking that Roddick's been hard done by in that last game. You're absolutely right, John. Perhaps he was right in what he was saying, but the call was a good one.
Certainly was. No breaks, 4-5. Well, that was such a short serve. It turned into a good one. It was a bad serve. It was good.
A terrible footwork by Roddick, and bringing his unforced error count to 12. Really needed to make more of that opportunity.
Just long, perfect for landing inside the. Oh, given in, but it was long short. Well, it was in.
Game.
Superb serving. It's wonderful when two men are both at their very best.
5 games open.
And you get what I call champagne tennis. It sparkles with every game.
This opening set, superbly poised now.
And I think of the two, this man is fretting a little, and Agassi the calmer. Always keeps pretty calm, Cahill. Wonderful. Agassi stands on the baseline. He half-volleyed one of those deep drives.
15.
Refuses to budge. He's a bit like a squash player who takes over the center of the court and his opponent has to do all the running around him.
Anticipation is quite superb. We know that he can return serve well, but he's seeing the ball so early. Roddick had very little time to regain his balance, having served when the ball was flashed past him.
Somebody laughing in the crowd there, waiting for them to simmer down. This is no laughing matter. 15-30. It isn't now.
14.
2 great points with that third double fault. Well, what can you say? Unbelievable. Reminds me
30-14
of Goran Ivanisevic at his best and Pete Sampras at his best. Yes, there's the bench. And I think we could see that coming. With Agassi calm as the proverbial cucumber, Roddick fretting. The first break, 6-5.
Well, we didn't think it was coming. There's been no doubt about it. Agassi's had love 30, he's had 15-40, and Roddick simply couldn't continue to serve 126-mile-an-hour second serve aces to stay in the game. It's as simple as that. And Agassi's been reading the Roddick delivery so well this evening. His concentration and focus has been total. You can see he's watching the ball intently. He's in control because he's on the baseline. He likes to be in that position. He doesn't mind moving 1 or 2 steps to his left or right. It's when he has to move 3, 4 or 5 that he gets in trouble, when he loses control of the rally. He's happy trading punches with Roddick from the back of the court. And eventually, the younger American was forced into error. So I think the first set really has gone according to plan as far as Agassi's concerned. Had to make the most of the opportunities that came his way on Roddick's serve, and that's exactly what he's been able to do.
Well, for all 34-year-olds, there is eternal hope. If you can play as well as this, then you're in business. And to me, what's happened this week again, Agassi has started to believe in himself. There were doubts. This is only his 4th semi-final, the best he's done in any tournaments this year, semi-final. And This could be the catalyst for a real advance again. No, that's just too good.
And that's a perfect example of why Agassi is so good and so tough to play against. Roddick defending on his right on the forehand, but Agassi taking the next shot so early, put him under so much pressure.
Didn't quite judge it after the ball had clipped to the top of the net. Disturbed his timing. That would have been a deadly drop.
Would have been, could have been, should have been, but wasn't. I don't think that's the right time to be trying that shot. He was in control of the rally. Should be playing to his strengths.
Well, he did say that in the long tie-break that he played yesterday, it ended at 14-12 against Moya. Moya served a double fault at set point. Agassi freely admitted that he was very tense throughout that tie-break. This stage, 6-5-30 all, it's all about belief. And there's a lack of belief there in Roddick, all right.
There's made a number of unforced errors this evening, but none more telling than that.
It's given Agassi an easy ride to a set point. And that's it. Well, a quite wonderful finish with his fourth ace of the night after 38 minutes. Applauded by his coach, Darren Cahill. Agassi takes the opening set. 7-5.
Well, a fantastic set, particularly from Agassi, whose game plan was simple. Needed to serve well, hold serve, and then take advantage of any opportunities that came his way when Roddick was serving, and that's exactly what he was eventually able to do. And I think we'll see that his first serve percentage was very healthy. Anytime it's in the 60s, that's good, but it was effective, and that's the key. He lost only 3 points when his first serve found its mark in that opening set. And crucially, he was able to win 67% of points on his second serve. Roddick not able to get a good enough hold on that particular shot. More winners than unforced errors, that's always important. Very difficult to generate any break points against Roddick, but he took advantage of 1 of 4 that came his way. Roddick served pretty well in terms of his first serve, and it was effective as you would expect, but Agassi was all over his second serve, and he wasn't able to generate a single break point, and that's something that needs to change for him to get back into the match.
Well, let's marvel again at some of Agassi's brilliant winners from that first set. Roddick's reaction to the loss of that set. He can't believe it. But he's got to believe it if he looks up at the scoreboard. The truth is staring at him. There it is. 7 games to Agassi, 5 to Roddick. First set to Agassi. What a match.
It's as good as everybody wanted it to be and more. I think it's going to be interesting now to see whether Agassi is going to be able to maintain his level of performance. The opening set was superb. And Roddick still chuntering to Norm Chris, the umpire, not liking the calls he's getting, particularly on this near side single sideline. And he's going to refocus and concentrate fully at the beginning of this second set if he's to get the right result.
And the ace bringing his tally to 11. And significantly, the lineswoman there is standing wide now instead of on the inside for a look at that line. Well, the perfect start to this set.
Oh, it certainly is. And I think it's an important point that you made, John, about the lines person, because even if she feels she can see the ball clearer in another position, it will make Roddick feel a lot better. So good decision by the umpire.
Yes, 40, 50. Those returns taken so early and they come so deep so quickly. You rush your shot. You have to. (40-15). The perfect start to the second set. An arrived win from the younger American.
He's got the advantage, of course, of serving first in this second set. That's exactly what he wanted. And Agassi will have to be careful. He's got to keep up that first serve percentage, otherwise Roddick will be looking to take advantage of it. And you feel really that at some stage he's got to relax. And he's got to open his shoulders a little bit, and surely that forehand will start to work. So Agassi's got to make sure he doesn't give him enough looks at the second serve.
I think you're absolutely right about the Roddick forehand. He hit 4 errors and only 5 winners on it in the first set. So that has got to improve, because if it doesn't, then he will lose. It's miraculous. You can't really believe what you're seeing.
Well, the eyeball coordination is quite superb. Roddick hit the ball very deep. He'll have been pleased with his contact in the ball and the depth that he was able to generate. But Agassi just takes 2 steps to his right and half volleys the ball for a winner up the line.
Talk about focused.
14.
His ace count is now 5.
Agassi.
Well, each man has played a perfect service game.
1 game on.
And it's so easy to take all this for granted, but what they are doing is quite miraculous. They're hitting the ball as hard as they can, virtually, and not making very many errors at all. It's quite wonderful, the standard. And when they miss, it is by a tiny margin.
Well, Agassi, he sees the ball so early. He takes a very small backswing, and he just times the ball perfectly, using all the pace of the oncoming ball.
And seeing Agassi hit those very early ball returns of serve, it makes me think he would be a wonderful motor racing driver, because his speed of reaction, his hand-eye coordination is miraculously quick. Well played, Roddick. He's hardly been near the net.
40-50.
And it's his first foray there in this set, and a successful one.
Game 1.
And the 12th ace,
Roddick leads 2 games to 1.
taking him ahead 2-1 in the second set.
Chrysanthemums and tropical plants around the tournament grounds. Why not transplant some to your home? Please make a date to attend our annual tournament.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see how effectively Roddick is serving. The first serve has been very accurate. You can see the red balls are the aces. They're very close to the line. See how he's been trying to pepper the Agassi forehand on the right-hand side of your screen there. Those are all slice serves. Look how short that is up the single sideline, whereas when he goes up the tee and out wide to the backhand, the balls are a lot deeper. On the second serve, he's been primarily peppering Agassi's backhand in the juice court, and he's been mixing it up nicely in the ad court. But what's Agassi been doing about that? How has he been trying to counter Roddick's serve? And on the first serve, he's been taking wide there, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, but he's taken them all pretty much on the baseline. But it's the second serve that he's been able to take advantage of, and he's been well inside the baseline, and no one really takes Roddick's serve as early as that, and that's what's catching him unawares. The ball's getting back to him much quicker, it's going deep, and it's going to his backhand, and that's where Agassi has the advantage.
And it's Agassi's returning of the second serve, which you said, Jason, at the start would be one of the key factors. And it is already, because less than 50, you said, would be dangerous for Roddick, and it's 47. That's hovering on danger point.
Certainly is. And when you also look at the Agassi statistic, he's winning 71% of points on his second serve. So Roddick is not getting a hold of it at all, whereas Agassi's having an awful lot of success on Roddick's weaker delivery. So that is a key statistic.
No breaks this set. 1-2.
50.
Sixth ace. He said yesterday that he thought he began to serve really well again, and that was pleasing him, and it's continuing tonight.
13.
Well, there's no question about the fact that Agassi is feeling more confident, and I think it all stemmed from the match he played against Chaler, and then yesterday against Moya. Really started to hit the ball out of the middle of the racket for the first time in a long while.
Second double fault. Well, I don't think he's played this well since the semi-final of the Australian Open. lost to Safin in a quite magnificent match.
50.
And he's hitting the ball just as well this evening as he did on that occasion. The footwork is exceptional once more. The anticipation is good. The striking of the ball is exemplary.
Game, Agassi. 2 games all.
And he's not able to release himself from the tension. He's saying to himself, hit the ball, for goodness sake, or for something's sake.
Yeah, that wasn't word for word what he said, but it had the same meaning.
Well, I'm going back to that semi-final in Australia because it was a very important moment for him. He won the tournament the year before, and the year 2 years earlier, he didn't play the year in between. And it ended a streak of 26 winning matches for Agassi in Australia, and he played his heart out. Safin on the day was just better, but only just. And Agassi is back to that form tonight.
Well, that's a good point to win as far as Roddick's concerned, but Agassi was just a little tentative there on the drive volley. He dropped it in a little too short. He allowed Roddick then to gain the upper hand, forcing Agassi to volley up, and thereafter it was all Roddick.
First.
Now, we thought he was slowing up.
Especially to that forehand side. And players have been using that as a tactic to try and get the better of him. Haas used it well in LA, used it last week also in Toronto. But tonight, he certainly found an extra half step. It's made all the difference.
30-50.
Never stops talking. Brad Gilbert. Doug Spreen's got a friendly ear.
And a slightly red one, I'm sure.
40-50.
A better kick on that serve. I guess he's quite unable to control it, about head high. And that's actually an area of Roddick's game that has improved.
Left. Person.
You have to chuckle, don't you? I mean, it's so audacious.
Well, there's only Agassi, I think, really could take the ball as early as he is doing this evening, middle it, and hit the shot so effectively. Roddick doesn't know what's hit him.
And he spotted him coming in behind that. Didn't try and hit it too hard this time, but tried to keep it low.
And that's the intelligent play. Don't try and take much of a risk on the return. Make Roddick volley. He's not particularly competent in that area.
Here's a danger moment. Deuce. Only the second game that's gone to deuce. Good shot.
Advantage block.
Sensibly getting in the first ball relatively slowly, 111 miles an hour, but it was in, that's the point. And he, oh, I thought he'd done it again. 124.
He's absolutely taken off to the chair. He's running. Not walking, he's running.
I see him walking.
And he's letting it get to him mentally. TMI thought it was in. trying to get rid of his frustrations by he said that Agassi was running to the chair already, thinking that was an ace. I don't think he was. Norm is unimpressed.
Well, Agassi offered him 2 serves, but Roddick just taking the 1.
Well played. He did so well to calm himself down
3 games to 2.
in the turmoil that was raging inside his head. And he's ahead, that's all that matters. 3-2.
Well, that was interesting because sometimes an altercation like that can fire you up. And Roddick certainly needs something to act as a catalyst for him to perform better.
She hesitated for about 4 seconds to think about who she was calling it for.
I think she was looking to make sure she was right.
How do you look and make sure you're right? Look at a mark?
She's just making sure.
How do you make sure on a ball that's 140? How do you look at a mark? How do you wait and then to make sure?
Normally, you're looking for a mark, yes.
But you're not supposed to look for marks on hard courts. Is that
That's
what you
correct.
tell us?
Yep.
So you're
that's
totally
absolutely
contradicting
true.
yourself right now.
No, I'm saying that
No,
that's
you just said she's looking for a mark, and then you say you're not supposed to look for marks.
That's correct.
So she's wrong.
Yes.
So take her out.
No, she's a good linesman.
She's a good linesman, but she doesn't know the own rules of umpiring?
She knows the basic
So why didn't she
rules.
follow them?
That time, I think she just waited to make sure.
To make sure of what?
To make sure the ball was
Oh
long.
my God. You're hopeless. You have no explanation tonight.
Now this little altercation between, this is the point on which it all happened.
That's the case that you should make sure and jump out of your chair and go look at the mark.
Roddick thinking that that was an ace. This is Agassi.
If we're starting to look at marks, then you should
And
do that.
running to, no, he was running to look at the mark after the call.
Time.
And then Roddick is saying that the woman hesitated before making the call. And he has a point.
But again, it's an important point in the match. Is Roddick going to be able to use that positively? Is Agassi going to be able to maintain his concentration and focus and his level of play, which so far tonight has been phenomenal?
No breaks, 2-3.
Love.
50. Well, that is the first really poor shot he's hit for a long, long time. An unforced error into the backhand, but under no pressure. Perhaps the... I was going to say perhaps all that altercation with the umpires got to Agassi a little. But he's recovered his poise again. Ace number 8.
Well, Agassi's ratio of winners to unforced errors is 3-1, and that's phenomenal given that he's playing against somebody as good as Roddick.
30-50.
Hasn't really got onto that wide one of Agassi. He hit one brilliant winner right into the corner, you'll remember, in the first set. And there's the worry, a forehand error.
The forehand just hasn't worked for him this evening. He'd been expecting to generate an awful lot of winners off that shot. It just hasn't happened.
Yes, well done. There's one.
40.
Started the first game of the set with 3 forehand winners in the course of that opening game, which redressed the balance of errors from the first set. Now, the first volley is not good enough.
Well, both of these players do struggle in the forecourt. They don't quite punch the ball as well as they might, and when you're playing against players as good as Roddick and Agassi, then the opponent is going to take advantage of that situation. Well, that was just an awful point as far as Roddick's concerned. The serve was woefully short. He stood well back behind the baseline, didn't take advantage of it. And he's really lost his way when returning serve this evening thus far.
Well, he was let off the hook there. Signs of wavering ever so slightly in that game, and Roddick didn't take note of it. Just hit 2 simple errors on the last 2 points, and he'll be very relieved. Agassi, 3-all.
Well, that was a cheap point. He certainly set himself very high standards this evening. This is the precise moment in this second set that he'll be wanting to find the clutch.
Ace, 134 miles an hour. Not his fastest tonight. That was 141. And number 14 takes him ahead again. And the standard remains formidably high. 4-3. It's Roddick ahead, second set. Well, Jason, one thing about this tournament, the night matches have been quite wonderful simply because of this. The excitable fans, they wear their hearts on their sleeves, they yell, they shriek, they wave their banners. It's been terrific, hasn't it?
And the players have responded in kind. The evening matches that we've had this week have been of the highest quality, and they were last year as well. And I think it's just easier for the crowd to enjoy the evening because it's not as hot, it's not as humid, they're more energized, they've finished work or they've put the kids to bed and now they've got an evening to really enjoy themselves.
And they've probably had a drink or two.
Always helps. And I think the players really enjoy that because there's a real buzz around the stadium. There was before this match started, and there certainly is now. And the fans have been treated to tennis of the highest caliber.
Well, it's a very good-natured crowd, this. They're seeing their 2 favorite Americans. The man who has been the sort of icon of American tennis for so long, Andre Agassi, and the new man on the block, the new former world #1, ended last year at 1, did Roddick. Pushed from his pedestal by Roger Federer, who is unquestionably the best player in the world at the moment. But Roddick a very firm second best. But being challenged tonight by the resurgent Agassi, 3-4. No.
50.
Roddick is being made to play at breakneck pace all the time. And he's got to make split-second decisions, and some of them have been wrong. There's a case in point. Not reading those serves at all. And not getting a clean hit at it, therefore, because he's a split-second late.
Well, this was a superb shot. Roddick trying to break things up by giving Agassi something different to look at, using the slice backhand to try and keep the ball low, but Agassi's footwork was excellent, the preparation was superb, and then just rotating the upper body in order to generate the pace.
Yes, good depth. Well done, Roddick. Hasn't forced too many errors from Agassi, who loves to play right on the baseline, but that did beat him. Well, his mum and dad there, willing him on.
Look a bit anxious, though. And
you could see why.
Exactly right. I don't think they'll feel very confident about Roddick's performance this evening thus far, but it can all change very quickly.
Well, here is the big test. Can't afford to spoil this service game. Gilbert trying to look relaxed himself, but frowning. Well done.
50. 13.
What a tally. 15 aces.
Well, it was a good shot. Roddick didn't mean it to be that good. He took the ball a little too early, and therefore, inadvertently, he was able to generate an extreme angle, but he'll take it.
Ace, second serve, number 16. A perfect service game in a very tight situation in the match. He could not afford to spoil that service, and he didn't. He's 5-4.
Hey fans, great seats are still available for the finals on Sunday. Get your seats for great tennis action this weekend by visiting.
Well, as long as you are holding serve, it doesn't matter how badly you're hitting the ball. Of course, Roddick is not going to feel as confident as he did perhaps in some of his other matches this week, because he certainly isn't having it all his own way from the back of the court, and of course is a set down. He's got to keep reminding himself that he is in the lead, he is holding serve, and therefore he only needs a half chance to put Agassi under an awful lot of pressure. And of course, he's got the advantage of serving first as well. So if he looks up at the scoreboard, he's got to stay in the present and reassure himself that his situation is a good one in this second set. Agassi, on the other hand, might start to doubt himself now if he loses the first 1 or 2 points in this next game. First serve percentage is imperative at this stage in the match. He simply cannot afford to let Roddick have a look at any of his second serves, because Roddick may open his shoulders and take advantage.
Well, the continuing excellence of this match in terms of shot making is quite remarkable. The standard from ball one has been very, very high. And one's waiting to see if either man is going to falter. No sign of it yet. Still no breaks this set, 4-5.
You said it a moment earlier, John, that the quality of tennis since the very first point has been of the very highest order, and this rally was superb, pushing each other to the limit. Roddick doing exceptionally well to stay in the rally as long as he did.
What can you say except well played?
Roddick's turn to take the ball exceptionally early. Agassi would have been pretty pleased with the approach. It was of a good length, but Roddick was equal to it and then some.
And the contrast is between the hand-eye coordination of Roddick and the hand-eye coordination of Agassi. Agassi's returning, generally speaking, tonight has been better, and that's what's let Roddick down. Well, he's covered some court in this game. Backwards and forwards across that base.
It's been the pattern of play that Agassi's looked to use the vast majority of the match. The serve to open up the court and the first ground stroke into the space.
And plenty of aces. Number 9. He doesn't believe that it was an ace. Here's the lady that called it. Or didn't call it, of course, because there was no call necessary. TMI thought it was a fault, agreed with Agassi.
It's a tough call. It's a different lines lady to the one that Roddick had problems with earlier in the match. And you have to say a few calls have gone against him, but not all the calls.
And that was an ill-advised thing to do. Agassi, remember, is most people's hero here. And they won't like that. Few boos.
Well, this is a situation that Roddick won't have anticipated. Defending champion here, playing in his home country and getting booed. Already a set down in the semi-final, so it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it. And Roddick's error came because he was not expecting that ball to come back quite the way it did. Sensible serve by Roddick, just 114 miles an hour, just adding spin to get the necessary angle. This is what Roddick will have hoped to have done from the beginning of the match. Get a good effective serve in and then use the forehand to hit winners in the back of the court. Hasn't been able to do much of that, but the power was certainly there. 98 miles an hour on that shot.
Too deep for him.
40.
Good serve. Well, I would have thought it was enough to have playing Agassi in this move, but he's also playing the crowd now, having set them against him. Perhaps he can turn them his way with some brilliant tennis. 6-5, Roddick.
Following the match here on center court, we will have a head-to-head challenge. So stay in your seats for some exciting entertainment.
Should have go watch the replay this one. It's done.
Well, Roddick still having
Watch the replay this.
a few words with the umpire, and he certainly worn his heart on his sleeve this evening. He's found it very, very difficult to control his emotions. Much of what he's done has been negative, and he feels really that the world's against him. Not only is he playing Agassi, he's playing against the umpire, various lines people, the crowd, and it's something that he's not used to. He's very much used to being the crowd favourite. When you have a big serve or a big shot, more often than not, you do get a few calls in your favour, but he certainly feels that everything's gone against him this evening. And I always feel to play your best tennis, you have to be in control of your emotions. And that's something that he's really struggled with this evening. And I'm sure his mum and dad have sympathy for him.
Blanche and Jerry sitting there wondering if their son can turn things around. It's going to be a mighty tough ask against Agassi in this move. But he is ahead. It's Agassi playing catch-up again. 4-5. No, rather 5-6. All you can do is to say well done.
Well, he hasn't volleyed particularly well this evening, Agassi, but that attempted passing shot from Roddick was of the highest order, and Agassi did well to get his racket on the ball, let alone have the audacity to control the ball and hit it for a winner.
Takes the ball so early, he just doesn't give his opponents time. Well, I think this set deserves a tiebreak. It's been so close and so spectacular. And we've got one.
Lovely change-up from Agassi to throw in the serve and volley. Excellent length on the serve, good footwork, nice anticipation. A very simple volley to take us into the tiebreak.
Starting with his 17th ace and having a very good record in tiebreaks this year. 28 wins, 7 losses, 9 wins, 8 losses, Agassi. So on that evidence, probably Roddick's the favourite in this tiebreak. Well, he is now. Pushed it, didn't punch it. he's missed that one.
3-0.
Well, amazing. Most uncharacteristic of Agassi to miss two relatively simple shots at such an important juncture in the game.
Well, he said he got a little bit tight in the tie break last night when he was playing Moya. A change has come over this match. Agassi tightening up, making unexpected errors.
5-0.
And Roddick realizes it. I do believe we're heading for a final set. Love 5.
Well, it's been an awful tiebreak as far as Agassi is concerned. He'll be finding it hard really to contain his disappointment and frustration, because coming into the tiebreak, even though his record wasn't as good as Roddick's, he must have been feeling the momentum was on his side. And he only made 3 unforced errors in the first 12 games of this second set. And to start the tiebreak with 2 and throw in a couple of missed returns as well, well, it's been a nightmare.
No, a moment of magic, but I don't think it's enough to save him against a man whose serve is as good as Roddick's. We'll see, unless Roddick tightens up. Angry with himself for missing so many shots in this tiebreak. 4 set points for Roddick. That'll do. 18th ace from Roddick brings the match level after an hour and 23 minutes of quite spectacular tennis. Once and all.
Well, the body language of Roddick when he was walking to the chair there, having sealed that second set, was markedly different to that he'd exhibited throughout the match to date. And I think that could be a very, very important tiebreak. Well, Roddick served pretty well throughout the set. 65% is very healthy, and he only lost 2 points when the first serve found its mark. So his domination when the first serve went in was obvious, but crucially, Agassi was not able to get hold of the Roddick second serve as he was in the opening set. Still no break points though for Roddick, but there weren't any for Agassi either. So it was definitely a set that was dominated by serve and by excellent tennis. The winner to unforced error ratio, 15-6 for Agassi and 19-7 for Roddick, shows you that we're watching tennis of the very highest order. But Agassi capitulated in the tiebreak, and that could ultimately prove crucial.
Here are some of Roddick's brilliant winners from the second set. That was the relief and joy in the camp of Roddick at the conclusion of that brilliant second set, in which Agassi imploded at the start of the tiebreak and was absolutely mad with himself.
Time.
And they'll be happier. Blanche and Cherry can smile a bit now. I think they were pretty tense.
Just explaining how it should be done. It should be like that all the time.
Well, I think everybody is enjoying the pure skill of these two men. Quite remarkable.
Say quickly, please. That should be behind the players.
You don't see this every day. And we've got new balls for the start of the third and final set.
Take any seat, please.
Agassi fortunate to be serving first in the final set here.
Good pattern of play from Agassi. Nice effective serve. Good footwork, getting into a position to be able to execute the shot nice and early and hitting into the open court.
Well, that 18th ace that he served to clinch the tiebreak reminded me that he did some baseball practice with the handle of his racket, holding the racket the wrong way around during the week, and he was hitting home runs into the stand. Rather like A-Rod, his namesake, Alex Rodriguez, who hit a home run this week in saving a match for the Yankees.
40-50.
And Agassi reaches double figures. I must say the serving of both has been wonderful up to Jason, hasn't it?
Well, we thought that Roddick's game plan would be dominated by the serve. We knew that Agassi's needed to be, particularly on the second serve, and I've been very, very impressed with the way that he's been able to vary the first serve. He's been keeping Roddick guessing. He's varied the amount of spin and pace he's put on the serve, and Roddick hasn't been able to get hold of Agassi's second serve, and I thought that would be a distinct advantage for Roddick. I think he'd be looking to use his forehand, and I think Agassi under pressure sometimes drops his second serve a little bit short, but so far so good for the elder American.
50.
The excellence continues. How he sees those balls, he's inside the baseline when he returns those second serves, as we saw when we were doing those TMIs. Well, I think Agassi perhaps thought that was long. It wasn't.
One game only.
It's in fact the 20th ace. One more.
13.
Well, there's an extra significance for Agassi tonight. If he were to beat Roddick, he would move into equal 9th place in the race from his present 12th position and still have a chance for more points in the final. Just up.
Agassi.
So Agassi doing a good job in the clinch, taking the lead. 2-1.
I need a second to glue my shoe. Yeah.
Just torn his shoe. I think he's got to change them. Torn it off. I think the sole has parted from company. Yeah. Oh, he's going to glue it. Can you believe this? Super glue. Look at this. The sole is just coming away from the upper.
Well, when I was a junior, my mum used to make me super glue my shoes, but that was because he couldn't afford new ones. And I'm sure Agassi could get some new ones, couldn't he, John?
Well, I just hope he doesn't get his finger stuck to the shoe. That's why he's put the towel around it, so that he just doesn't get it on his finger. Any of you who have done a bit of DIY at home with the super glue knows how dangerous it is if you get stuck to the piece of wood or whatever it is you're trying to glue. Well, if you wondered about the professionalism of these players, the ultimate has been seen tonight. Andre Agassi has put some super glue on his shoe to glue the sole back to the upper, which is coming away.
Well, I think he must feel uncomfortable wearing new shoes out on court. So once he's worn these in, he won't want to put a new pair on now. And that's why he's desperate to try and get through the match with this pair. And obviously just needed a little bit of a pit stop there.
And he said, as soon as he sat down to umpire Norm Christ, look, I've got a problem with my shoe and I'm going to do a repair. And he allowed him to do that.
Well, it'd be great to get an insight into what Roddick thought of that.
Not much, I can tell you.
Well, he's laughing there to Cahill's smiling because he's saying, I've got glue on his hand now. He'll be playing double-handed forehands and backhands, but like Santoro.
Stuck to the racket.
Well, the intensity is plain for all to see. The preparation was good. He got his feet set up and then he was able to uncork with the upper body.
The forehand errors are rather more numerous than he would have hoped for. 21 aces. Body line serve that time. 114 miles an hour, not that fast by his lofty standards.
Gotta be aggressive here, man.
So it is now 2 games all, and somebody's got to make a move.
Agassi still hitting the ball so crisply, and it's all set up really by the quality of the first serve. Roddick not able to get the ball deep enough or effective enough on the return, and Agassi's dominating the point thereafter.
Well, they've been applauding one another's winners tonight quite wonderfully. Very sportingly played. Rushed himself, tried to do an Agassi, but his hand-eye isn't quite as fast. That was.
Well, the serve was a good one, nice and deep, but it wasn't quite as close to the service centre line as he would have liked, but both players enjoying that return. Absolutely fantastic.
Just keep doing that.
Keep doing that. Standing well back for the second serve, trying to put Agassi on. And trying to outdo his previous return, but failing there. But I love the spirit in which this match is played between the two, and they realise that they are providing something very special for the fans. It's Agassi, 3-2.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what Agassi's doing to stave Roddick off on the serve. Look at the accuracy, absolutely superb. Very little variation, no serves in the middle, and then on the second serve, you'll see Agassi's just peppering the Roddick backhand. So the tactics are very simple. And then what's Roddick doing really to counter that? Well, he's not doing much on the first serve, just standing a couple of feet behind the baseline, and then on the second serve, he's moving forward slightly, but only on a couple of occasions as he stood well back. And I think he'd be well advised to give Agassi something different to look at when he's returning in terms of his position.
I've said it before, but it's worth repeating. It's so easy to take all this for granted, but the excellence of the shot making from both of them has been quite remarkable. You don't see matches like this very often.
No, you see exciting matches. You see matches where both players play well for periods in the match, but very rarely do you get two of the best players in the world playing well throughout an entire match, and that's certainly what's happened this evening thus far.
A nail-biting situation, indeed. No breaks. Roddick, 2-3. An air shot from Agassi, a rare thing indeed, but look at that, 132 miles an hour for ace number 23. Too good. 30, 50. Too good. Just a little bug on the court there. It happens at night here. Not as bad as the bugs in Australia, who seem to litter the court.
40, 50.
and not as bad as the one he can't get rid of at the other side of the net.
Yes, rushed it again. Forced to.
40.
But it's the serve that's saving him, Roddick. He's averaging 2 aces a game in this recent period.
Game, Roddick.
3 in this one, you see. 25 now. It's hard to keep count sometimes.
Well, I think Roddick will be happy enough if we decide this match with a tie-break, because his record is so good and he played such a good one in the second set, so he'll just be fully focused on continuing to hold serve as easily as possible, and if he doesn't get a chance on the Agassi serve, then so be it, but if he does, he'll be looking to take advantage of it.
50.
The area of his game that he will want to think about is this returning of the serve. It has not been very good. Agassi's still getting away with a whole lot of second serves. And when you allow a man, when you're returning,
13.
when you can return as well as he can, and yet allowing your opponent today to win 77% of his second serves, well, that is not healthy.
14.
And if you said that we would be midway through the deciding set and one of the players wouldn't have been able to generate a single break point, you certainly wouldn't have thought it would be Roddick.
His 12th ace. 30. And the standard remains glitteringly high. The crowd absolutely enthralled, and why not? It's 4-3 Agassi.
Well, I think it's at this stage of the match when all players start to think the finishing line is within sight, and therefore it's at this stage in the match where it becomes all the more difficult to stay in the present. And your mind just starts to play tricks on you, and you start to wonder what if, and am I going to be able to win this match? What do I need to do to get the vital break? And I think it's important for Agassi just to try and remain focused on the present for as long as possible, because he's playing superbly well in all areas of his game. And I'm sure that if he can maintain that concentration and focus and intensity that he's had since the beginning of the match, and he will fancy his chances, because he's got the advantage, remember, in this deciding set of serving first. So if Roddick continues to serve aces, too good. But if Agassi gets a look at any second serves, then I'm sure he'll be looking to pile as much pressure as possible on Roddick.
Well, the fans are having a field day with their cheering and with the signs that they hold up for us.
Time.
Rock and Roddick, well, that's a nice one. Some quite inventive ones. Rock and Roddick. Well, we said at the start it would all depend upon the quality of this man's second serves and Agassi's ability to return the odd first one well.
Well, again, the point was set up by excellent length on the return of serve, forcing Roddick back behind the baseline, and thereafter Agassi felt very comfortable throughout the rally.
Well, Gilbert has reached the stage where he can't watch anymore. And you can see why Brad Gilbert doesn't want to watch this performance. A rather tight error. You have to doff your cap to Roddick there. 50th winner, 26th ace. Doesn't get any better than this, believe me.
No, the two players absolutely superb throughout that rally. The return was incredible. Agassi was able to put Roddick under pressure, but it was the backhand down the line that really set the point up for the younger of the two Americans.
And Agassi applauding. 2 good. 27 aces. It has been remarkable. Well, this is one of those evenings which none of us present will ever forget, for the level of expertise from both.
Come on.
And the result almost doesn't matter to the uncommitted. It matters very much indeed to the two combatants and their support groups, but the crowd have had an absolute feast.
50.
And it's very difficult for us not to exaggerate what's happening. I mean, but you've got to acknowledge what you're seeing.
Well, again, the return of serve simply wasn't good enough. It allowed Agassi to play an aggressive shot on the first shot of the rally from the back of the court, and therefore he's been able to win the vast majority of those points.
Well, the fans will be going home with sore hands tonight, so much have they been applauding. Look at that, 79% of second serves. That is a telling statistic, one that we've talked about. Brilliant. Totally unexpected, that advance to the net.
Ball change.
And Agassi is ahead once more, 5-4.
Well, that was a fantastic game by Agassi, and what I really like about his performance tonight is he's been thinking about all aspects of his game. Roddick here took a deep position to return the serve. So what Agassi thought is, right, I'm going to serve and volley because that gives me more time to get into a better position at the net. And if I volley into the open court, it gives Roddick a greater distance to move from point A to point B. So Agassi under extreme pressure in the deciding set, still thinking very clearly. And I think his tactical game plan tonight has been superb, and his execution of it has been even better.
And apart from that lapse, an extraordinary lapse, 3 points at the start of the tiebreak, he's played the perfect match. That's been the only blemish. Friendly little piece of reminding from Norm Christ, the umpire, just whispering to Agassi, Andre, new balls. And he knows that he wants to change rackets when the new balls are taken, and he'd forgotten. The cheers off Agassi as he goes back to receive, facing the new balls and leading 5-4.
First.
Well, now, are we heading for another tiebreak? Begins to look a little like it. Agassi has to have the ball kids in their appointed places. Won't let them stand in an unusual spot. Surely he's not going to lose concentration here.
40-13.
Time for an ace. He hasn't served one in this game, and that's unusual. Served 3 in the last. Well, he didn't lose his nerve, which was commendable.
5 games on.
Well, Roddick really turning up the heat here. Good serve, and then 97 miles an hour on that forehand. No chance for Agassi to react.
Well, the crowd are having a field day, aren't they? Absolutely absorbed by this fierce battle. Still raging, 5-all. Trying so hard to discipline himself to wait for the right ball to hit, but there aren't any. They're too deep coming to him. So he has to take a slight risk and misses. Well, is that a signal of a slight tightening in his racket arm? It's his 3rd double fault. A stern look from Cahill.
Well, we often talk about how much power the players can generate these days, but it's all about accuracy and length. If you can do that well, it's almost impossible for the opponent to do anything.
And that is how close it was. Well, here is a danger moment.
30.
Just doing enough with the attempted pass to force Agassi off balance, and therefore he just couldn't control the racket face on contact with the ball.
This the most important point of the match so far. And he answers the call with his 15th ace.
40. 13.
Little apology there. No intent. All is well. Got him. Well, look at that. Unbelievable scenes here in Cincinnati. The crowd on their feet to applaud that audacious drop shot and pass that has taken Agassi to 6-5 final set.
Well, I think we're beginning to run out of superlatives to describe what we're witnessing this evening. That last point was just superb hitting from both players. Standing at the back of the court, moving each other around, each using his weapon of choice, the forehand, the vast majority of the time. The length and the accuracy was superb. And then Agassi throwing in the little drop shot. Roddick did well to make the distance and bunted the ball up the line. That's the percentage play. But Agassi had anticipated superbly. He was already in an excellent position. It's a high percentage pass over the low part of the net and applauded by Roddick. And rightly so. What a rally. And to come at such a vital stage, Agassi responding like the true champion he is with an ace and then a point of the very highest order with which to win the game. The intensity was evident for all to see, and he'll be absolutely delighted with the way he was able to respond.
Time.
Well, we are indeed running out of superlatives to describe this match. I'm so glad to be here. I feel privileged to be witnessing what I'm seeing. It doesn't get any better than this. 5-6, no breaks. Well, at least we could all hear that one. Often we don't. Two fantastic serves out to that forehand on the deuce court. Here we go into another tiebreak, surely.
Game 1.
We are into the tiebreak indeed. It looked very much like it halfway through the set.
6 games all. Final set tiebreak.
After exactly 2 hours of play. And listen to the crowd's excitement at the prospect of a tiebreak to decide who will go through to tomorrow's final.
quality of the smash here was superb. The approach was good. Roddick played an excellent defensive lob. Look at the footwork from Agassi, getting himself underneath the ball, and then to get the ball that short inside the service box from that position is quite superb.
Worthy of Agassi himself, almost a half volley.
Well, he had very little time to react because Agassi got the ball back to him so quickly, but a little shorter backswing that time enabled him to still make good contact with the ball.
Oh, what tennis!
Well, Agassi's really rolling back the years tonight. The feel on the drop shot was superb. Roddick did exceptionally well to make the distance. But again, Agassi was in an excellent position to convert with the cross-court pass.
The first mini break.
Thank you.
Well, on the big points in the match, it's so important to play to your strengths. Agassi's had an awful lot of success taking Roddick out of court and then hitting the first shot of the rally into the space. And time again, that's won him the point.
1-4. Well, tonight, this has indeed been the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Two men playing at the height of their powers for an entire match. It doesn't happen very often. It's now 2 mini breaks behind at 1-5.
5-2. Agassi.
With ace number 29, Roddick keeps his hopes alive, but only just. With this point, Agassi could re-establish himself among the top men in the world. 4 match points. Well, 2 friends hug each other at the net at the end of a quite spectacular battle. An emotional moment this, as Agassi thanks the crowd, as he always does after his wins. Into the final here for the third time. He's won it twice before, and who's to say that in this form he won't do it again. For Roddick, disappointment. But he contributed to a match we shall all remember as long as we live. 2 hours and 6 minutes of sheer magic, particularly from Agassi, who eventually comes through 7-5, 6-7, 7-6.
Well, what can you say? Without a doubt, for me, the best match of the year. And now the Agassi fans will really believe that he can once again compete at the very highest level of the game. And more importantly, I think Agassi will believe that he can compete at the very highest level of the game. And that's important, because at the beginning of the week, it didn't look like he did. And he was really struggling, a set down in his opening match against Marty Fish. Wasn't timing the ball particularly well, but throughout the week he's done what all great champions do. He's been able to win when he hasn't played particularly well, and he's saved his very best tennis for when he needs it most. Well, a tale of the tape is only going to reconfirm what we've said. The first serve percentage, exceptional by both players. Look at the amount of aces. The quality of serving under pressure was superb. Look at the amount of winners both players were able to generate when compared to the amount of unforced errors. Agassi, 42-13, incredible. Roddick not able to generate a single break point throughout the entire match, which lasted over 2 hours and went the distance. So that gives you a very good example of just how well Agassi was able to serve under pressure. We said at the beginning of the match it was going to be important for him to serve well, particularly on his second serve. Roddick wasn't able to take advantage of that. Crucially, in the first set, Agassi made the most of one of his 4 break points, but in the second and third sets it was all about playing the big points well. Agassi didn't do that in the second set tiebreak, but what a third set tiebreak. A match of the very highest order.
Well, we are all breathless after an exhilarating, spectacular encounter. Let's enjoy some of the moments from it now. And what a lovely ending that was. It was played in the most terrific spirit, the standard throughout of the very highest order. You couldn't ask for anything better at any time, anywhere. And there it is, and what an intriguing match up there. Hewitt against Agassi tomorrow. Well, just to confirm what we saw earlier in the day, if you weren't with us, Leighton Hewitt's win over Tommy Robredo of Spain was in straight sets, and he was looking very, very good indeed. 6-2, 6-3, and we've just seen one of the matches of the year for me. So there it is. It's tomorrow at 4 o'clock local time. Make a date to be here. You mustn't miss this one. Hewitt against Agassi, for the Western and Southern Financial Group Masters crown for 2004. For Jason Goodall, I'm John Barrett, hoping you've enjoyed the spectacular tennis tonight and that we can count on your company again tomorrow. We leave you with some of the winners of the day.